Sangpo, a warm welcome to Bhutan This Week. My name is Samtin Dolkar. Our top stories this week. His Majesty the King granted Da to appoint new secretary and NC eminent member. National Referral Hospital introduced machines that can detect bacterial infections in hours. And the country recorded highest temperature at 38.5 degrees Celsius amid global heat waves. Now the news in detail. His Majesty the King granted Da to appoint the new secretary of the Datsang Lhenso and an eminent member of the National Council.
Zangla Namgyal is the new secretary of the Datsang Lhenso. He was serving as Changup to His Majesty the King prior to his appointment. In his career as a civil servant, he has served as a deputy director of the National Assembly and as head of Driklam at the Home Ministry. His Majesty's appointee to the National Council is Tashi Chazom, who was serving as Drangpen at the Supreme Court. Sunampem for BBS News.
The National Monument Committee has now revised entry fees for Lhaga and monuments for all foreign visitors. The revised entry fees came into effect from last week. The committee also introduced entry fees in 8 other Lhaga and zongs.
All foreign visitors now have to pay 2,000 Nyutam to visit Taksang. Earlier they had to pay 1,000 Nyutam. And to visit Tashchazang, Memorial Chortin, Changanka Lhagang in Thimphu, Kichul Lhagang and Rimpung Zong in Paro and Punakha Zong, and Chimil Lhagang in Punakha, the visitors will be charged 1,000 Nyutam. As per the National Monument Committee, children below 18 years will be granted a 50% concession. Children of 5 years of age and below do not have to pay the entry fees. The Tourism Council of Bhutan will be collecting the fee for now. But after 23rd September this year, the fees will be collected at the designated site. The committee has also introduced entry fees of 1,000 Nyutam in 8 other Lhagangs. They are Jampal Lhagang in Bumtang, Dumtsil Lhagang and Dobjizong in Paro, Rinchinding Gyomba and Paljin Tashicholing Shedra in Finsoling, Buddha Dordenma and Semtokha Zong in Thimphu, and Tongsa Zong. The fees will be collected only from 23rd September. The tourists will be allowed to visit these sites throughout the year except during auspicious days. This is to avoid the crowd. Chonidama for BBS News.
Easy access to finance has always been one of the challenges for small and medium businesses in the country. The pandemic has also made the matter worse for them. Acknowledging the importance of access to finance, an awareness program on credit lending schemes was conducted in Thimphu. It is to bring together the private sector and the financial institutions to share information about various lending schemes available. The awareness program was conducted in 3 districts as of today. During the program in Thimphu, the financial institutions highlighted aspects of the various lending schemes, including the different rates and terms of their individual banks. It is to provide different options for the businesses so that they can make an informed decision.
When it comes to the participants from Thimphu and from Punakha, mostly from the western region, I think they are aware of all the schemes. Those private sectors who are coming from the east, they are not aware of the creation of the NCGS office for Persila and then NCSI Bank in Parola. So through this awareness workshop, I think we were able to resolve so many issues and make them understand on the credit access without mortgage too.
Although the business individuals regarded such a program as helpful, some said this kind of awareness will be more helpful to aspiring entrepreneurs.
I've been in the business for the past 5 years. So for me, I do not need a startup loan anymore. I need a scale-up loan or a bridging loan, or there are other schemes also. So if the institutions could focus on that also, it would benefit the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
MPL di namsamita ya tet bombere asunu tet anala phalu ta majimaja ke siwajin shemitsulu tetaro nitik betero chala nongumi tero labe mitsulu de toponi message ni saambodalo sa MPL de kadebe nembenino digigi dolen kadebe benino nalpa thalam kadebe tinino te digigi de khorosunde nonde du te thalam tinigi mato te nala phajule charo begub de khachiye.
The program was initiated by the Bhutan Chamber of Commerce and Industry in collaboration with the International Trade Center as part of the implementation of the European Union's Bhutan Trade Support Project. Samtin Dolkar, BBS News. From the civil service, the financial sector and the tourism industry, the country is undergoing a major transformation. If everything goes as planned, these reforms are expected to create better economic opportunities for the Bhutanese within the country so that the youth do not have to travel abroad. Prime Minister Dr. Lote Tsering said this while meeting the teachers of Outso Central School in Linse.
A teacher from Also Central School asked the Prime Minister about the government's stand on the rising number of teachers resigning from their profession and going to Australia for further studies. As per the Annual Education Statistics 2021, more than 300 teachers left the profession during the year, and nearly 2,000 resigned over the past 6 years. The Prime Minister said that the government is concerned about the rising number of Bhutanese youth living for abroad every year. However, he added that the government cannot stop individuals from looking for better opportunities.
numerically last 2 years so those who have been ready prepared to ready certain it's too early to say that now numbers are gone up a lot, and it's a little too early.
The Prime Minister said that the transformation and reforms in the education, civil and public service and other sectors will create better opportunities for the young people.
If the value of money that you get here is almost similar to what you get in Australia,
However, he said that it would take a few years for the reforms to yield the expected outcome. Over the last few years, hundreds of Bhutanese youth left for abroad, with the majority taking off to Australia. As of last year, close to 12,000 Bhutanese are living in the Southern Hemisphere. Bhutanese residing abroad have been able to send substantial amount of money to the country. Records with the Royal Monetary Authority show that Bhutan received about 8 billion ngutam in remittance from abroad in 2021. More than half of the remittances are from Australia, amounting to close to 4 billion. For Sonam Tsering in Hunse, Pup Game for BBS News.
Treating bacterial infections will now become a lot easier at the National Referral Hospital. This will be possible with the new set of machines. It can identify an infection within hours and recommend antibiotics needed to cure it.
The health specialist first fills up the patient's data on the monitor. He then inserts the patient's samples containing urine and sputum into this fully automated Vitek MS machine.
The green dots shows that it is 99.9% accuracy.
Within a few periods, the machine accurately shows the bacteria or fungi that are affecting the patient. This machine is currently installed only at the National Referral Hospital. It helps in diagnosing infection-related diseases such as urinary tract infection, UTI, typhoid, respiratory infections, and soft tissue infections. After that, Vitek 2 shows the choice of antibiotics needed to prescribe against the microorganism. This machine is set up at the Royal Centre for Disease Control and at the National Veterinary Hospital as well.
It's going to really reduce the time of choice to choose the antibiotic to treat the patient. Like conventionally, it used to take from 24 to 72 hours, but this can be now done in maximum 5 to 10 hours, whereas identification of bacteria, if for a single one, this machine does in maximum 2 minutes.
As per the Health Ministry, the introduction of the equipment will foster clinical studies and capacities in the field of medical studies. Worth 10 million Yultrum, the machines are funded by the UK-based aid agency Fleming Fund Project. On an average, the National Referral Hospital gets more than 80 samples a day to test for infections. Kyalzang Chodin, BBS News.
Gyalifu will soon have a dry port with cold storage facilities, warehouse and transshipment areas. This is to facilitate trade and enhance export and import of goods. Once complete, the dry pot will benefit the people of the central, eastern and southern districts.
The dry port will be constructed on about 27 acres of land near Gelifu Domestic Airport. Once complete, the facility will have a warehouse, cold storage, load transshipment area, dedicated driver dormitory, and custom offices. The facility is expected to facilitate cross-border trade through improved cargo handling services and bring economic benefits. The dry port is being constructed with around 880 million newton.
This is the third dry port, considering mini at Phuentsholing city and the one ongoing construction at Pasakha. This is larger and best located.
The project is being implemented with financial support from the Government of India. It is expected to be complete by end of 2024. For Karmawandi in Gelifu, Sringzang, BBS News.
The Central Thimphu Police Station arrests at least 4 people in a day for various crimes and offences. As per the RBP's statistical report for 2020, the highest arrests made in the year was for battery cases. Today, the police has brought down crime in the city, including battery cases, through intense patrolling.
The police go out on night patrols every day. But on Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays, the so-called party nights, they perform intensive patrolling which involves frisking any suspicious-looking people. Most reports usually come in on these nights, with the majority being battery. Battery accounted for more than 80% of all crimes committed against a person in 2020, according to police reports. In May alone, there were more than 30 battery cases reported in Thimphu, one of the highest battery cases in a month. The police started their intensive patrols on 27th May. The police move out in large groups and patrol the streets till as early as 2 in the morning. And they say the results have been positive. In June, the Central Thimphu police station recorded only 11 battery cases. Last week, the station registered 26 reports, including 5 battery cases. The police say they started the intensive patrolling with the aim to make the city safer. Bimasaldan Singh, BBS News.
The Centenary Farmers Market in Thimphu is undergoing a major renovation, and for now, to cater to the needs of vendors and shoppers, the market has been relocated just opposite the CFM. The new space is expected to create a better experience for shoppers and to allow vendors to create an attractive and inviting display of their produce. This is the temporary market. From this space, shoppers can get all kinds of food items. From fruits to vegetables, dairy and livestock products, cereals, domapani, incense products, and nursery, the stall is streamlined into different sections. Although it's just been a few days, if you visit this market, be it during the day or night, one can witness a huge crowd.
Tenalo tita to gotamba benedigi ina mashima pa yoni de hinsa sa kamto to mushla gato tebe chige khap gisa unna hibzun be dola nam sam gato to do sa shudola ya sono mi de subiro te berasum imbe sa shudola de milla logi maship ina katebe ina mashi ya son de nam sam mi je sa shudola te yanchman ta shunle kolo kolo be de lejim june mashila
ngara di ma ula ma de bila chanjelo te to na hibda cham chi shi chila ngaki na hibda anale taw joge sota te nale pura hinsa sabe thomela thoni di hinsa sabe ro mawadi na hinsa me.
According to the Agriculture Ministry, the current stall is also to encourage the night market owing to the heat during the daytime. During the weekdays, the market is open from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. But during the weekends, the market remains open even after 10 p.m. Meanwhile, the refurbishment of the CFM's upper floor is expected to finish in 2 months. The CFM was inaugurated in 2008. Besides roofing and drainage construction, the market didn't undergo any renovations until now. Samtin Dolkar, BBS News. Now many around the globe are feeling extreme heat this time around. It is no different for Bhutan. The country recorded historically the highest temperature of 38.5 degrees Celsius on 15th July in Punakha. This is 0.5 degrees Celsius higher than the historical temperature, which was also recorded in Punakha in 2019. The country's hottest district, Punakha, started seeing a rise in temperature from 2nd July, and temperature yesterday reached 38.5 degrees Celsius, breaking all previous heat records. According to National Center for Hydrology and Meteorology, the country recorded an average temperature of 25.6 degrees Celsius for July from 1996 to 2021.
Our studies show that the maximum daily temperature over the last 2 weeks is higher than the historical average by about 2.6 degrees Celsius. So we know that right now is the monsoon season, and currently we're experiencing a break in the monsoon season. So this break is caused by the presence of a low pressure system, and this system is causing the monsoon winds to deviate from its normal pathway. And there is also the monsoon trough, which is not in its normal position.
Meanwhile, the temperature is expected to gradually drop starting tomorrow. This drop is likely to bring rainfall sometime in the coming week. Globally, heat waves are striking Europe, North Africa, the Middle East and Asia as temperatures climbed above 40 degrees Celsius. As per the international media, it says heat waves are starting earlier and are becoming more frequent and more severe as a result of climate change. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change projects that for 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming, there will be increased heat waves, longer warm seasons, and shorter cold seasons. At 2 degrees Celsius of global warming, heat extremes would more often reach critical tolerance thresholds for agriculture and health. Samtin Dolkar, BBS News. It won't be long before Tertenpe Malingpa's iron residues near his forge above Baribrang in Bumthang become extinct. Overexploitation of the area is worrying people in the nearby villages who say the iron residues could well have run out. Today, there is no community or institution in custody of the historically important site.
Around 20 minutes drive from Kinzata towards Baribrang, followed by a 30-minute walk, takes you to the place. Tsring Doji, who is a caretaker of a nearby temple, showed me the way. So this place here is Pemalingpa's forge, where he spent his life as a blacksmith, and he's said to have made pans, armor and knives here. And after the things were made, he's said to have thrown the iron residue right in front of me where there's a huge cliff, and that's where people are collecting the residue from. Constant digging in search of the iron leftovers has made the slope appear like an eroded surface. Tree roots have been dug and exposed.
Yale lamra meche da lam gi di mat membela ta chonga khechina chap to ola na gi cha yao de ta yene me se no mela.
In the past, people in the neighboring villages and local pilgrims used to collect the iron residues from the area in small quantities for blessings. However, the collection became rampant in recent years. Some people also reportedly gathered the iron remains for commercial purposes. So these are some of the handmade tools that people who come here to collect the iron residue use. They dig in holes like this. I can see a lot of holes like this here, and the entire area looks excavated and exploited. Sring Doji showed me how people would gather the iron leftovers using wooden tools.
nam same po ne tise maula dati name sampo ne omela nam sam seju tisu nyam ni ki ter imi bate peling ki ter imi ba ani bidi tegi chajon thula ngachi
ngachi dishi lamlu de kane ma so bini tegi te ngachi de kasa de kane mindu de debi de ta to chonsi ge ringne de debi ro du su shuni la shen de betap kane mindu pa dongden dang ji soni gi cheshi ji zam sai la dongden dang su chu jin de kongi pa ko mi shobe ba de de ani da cheshi zam de ani cheshi de zam da lo de ngachi na lesen ni gi besur da kunza tak ka ji khan cham ma su be de de neberan lu su shuni la.
At Tamjung Monastery, which is the main seat of Pemalingpa, monks and lamas are equally worried.
용자로 가데 비주노서 와진다. 다니 짜딩아 치라 기침나 요바진 메킹기 뇌바디서 도수 비스미기디. 디 용자 요발로 텐디 디 총주르비메 텐드 유비기 루주둘라. 라로 띠루지 톱니기 텐데 총주르비니기 텐데 베데베 남답적 주베와진. 디 최경송마디서 투미게 최경송마디서 투 만입따라 아치라 체솔로에 닌가 두스테비 노멘. 다 자사다 교 델레 종카 가라기 냠적이 돌레베 아치기 더진의 심치 탑소버진세 데비 노멘 세슈돌라.
He also said that the Trasang is planning to fix a signboard in the area explaining the importance of preserving the iron remains as a temporary measure. The place also has what is said to be the remains of a house where Pemalingpa and his grandfather, who was also a blacksmith, lived. Pemalingpa is said to have extracted iron ores from a nearby hilltop and then taken them to the forge for refining. Immediate intervention is deemed necessary to save the place, which has an important connection to the only Buddhist master born at the time in Bhutan. Kipchu, BBS News, Bumthang.
Since its introduction in the early 1980s, the country has seen significant development in the field of fish farming, with an increasing number of people adopting fish farming, especially in the southern foothills. Today, a new kind of fish farming is taking roots in Samtse. What started as a hobby has now turned into a viable commercial venture for the country's first licensed private ornamental fish farmer. Our reporter Pasang Dorji in Samtse brings the story of 31-year-old Dipen Raj Kale, who makes a living from selling beautiful fishes.
My name is Dipen Raj Kale. I'm from Ugensi and currently I reside here at Norbugang. I'm the first applicant to get the license for the ornamental fish farm. The ornamental fish, it's mainly for decorative purpose, and ornamental fish, it comes in different sizes, color, and also nature also. At present, we have around 500 goldfishes. And the species that we have is the Indian koi, and I have goldfish, and also the other species, tilapia, we name it as tilapia. How I managed to reach at this stage is mainly all the credit goes to my families. The person who inspired me is my own brother. Actually, he's the one who have started this farm way back in 2019. The main source is from YouTube. We learn lots of things from YouTube. I would recommend a person who is doing fish farm in Philippines. His name is Dexter's World. My guru or whatsoever, my teacher is he. If I have 5 customers in 1 month, the gross profit would definitely reach to 30,000. We not only deal in selling goldfishes. We do sell aquarium as well and other accessories also. Most common challenges that I face is the water challenges. The water crisis out here is it's too much. The other challenge would be the formalities. I've been longing to import the other species like say blackmore, guppy, fighter fish or betta fish, but the process out here is very, it's very complicated. people used to say, why are you captivating those fishes in a small tank? You shouldn't do like that. They used to say. But the thing is, whatever I'm doing here, the ornamental fishes, as I've said earlier, their main purpose is for decorative and all. So they are meant and they are bound to be kept in aquarium. I have a dream of making aquaculture world, whereby there will be different species, like say ornamental. If we go for ornamental fish, there will be more or less 50% of the ornamental fishes. And also, I'm planning to go for the doctor fish also, for the purpose of like food spa and all, so that it attracts more people in future, the near future.
And that's all we have for this week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye and stay safe.